If you ever wondered what the secret to success looks like, picture this.
Did you provide evidence from the text? Are you able to build on what somebody else says?
We embrace them and we push them harder so that they expect better things of themselves.
Having someone believe in the very best of you.
They expect things that they never thought possible.
So you could believe in yourself, which is exactly what happened to Melissa Teal.
I grew up extremely poor. We were poor to the level where staying in a shelter was not new to me. Neither of my parents went to college. It was an expectation that I would go to college. No ifs, no ands, no buts. You will go, you will become something successful.
Now for Teal, it is a matter of pushing students the same way.
I can
Do anything.
I believe
In myself.
I will
Work hard.
Heaven Wright says, so far, it's working.
I'm determined to be, in the future, a success.
The college I want to go to is University of Florida to play football and study law.
I want to be either a doctor.
The students here at Bruns have the potential to achieve, and they want to achieve.
Yet, Bruns educators realized recognizing potential is not always enough. Sometimes, reality gets in the way.
I went into the classroom, I split them in half, and I said, I need you half to stand on this side, I need your other half to stand on this side. The statistics say you all graduate from high school and you all don't. The graduation rates of the high schools that we go to from Bruns are 50%.
I know some kids say if they drop out of school, all they got to do is work with this stuff at home and then try to survive.
You want this for your hamburger?
These challenges are common in a school like Bruns. Nearly all the students receive free or reduced lunches, and so many of their parents did not graduate from high school.
A lot of our students see the reality that some of their parents are going through, and they don't want that for themselves.
It is a tough, honest conversation.
It's a matter of us making that known to the kids and making that known, this is the reason why we hold you to high expectations. This is the reason why we have higher standards than maybe where you came from previously, because the reality says this could be your reality, but we won't accept that.
And by not accepting that reality, educators at Bruns Academy knew they would have to embrace a new method of teaching.
We're going to have a Socratic seminar.
Welcome
about
to leadership class.
Whether or not we should have cell phones at school.
It's for students who may need some extra support.
Holistically, when we look at that child, how is your attendance? How is your behavior? How are your grades? Do you really look like you have the potential to go to college? Do you have the drive to go to college?
Bruns Academy believes in the program because of what it teaches.
Hard skills are those content skills, what you need to know to pass the grade or pass the test. Soft skills tend to be more the character ed traits or the organizational skills, things that are not necessarily going to determine whether or not a child passes a grade, but that are ways or avenues through which a child can excel. And in leadership, that's the focus. That is now the curriculum.
Teal says those are skills that are not normally addressed in a traditional classroom.
So leadership is focused on the writing to learn skills, the organizational skills, the speaking skills, the being able to come up with an idea and then being able to back it up with good details, sound details. There's skills that colleges say children should be able to do X, Y, and Z.
As students get older, Teal says they need those soft skills to excel in the harder classes and later in life.
For the longest time, they may have heard they're not smart enough or they just don't have it. You put them in a program like leadership, and that student begins to shine. That student now carries a self-confidence.
Leadership reinforces what students learn in their core classes, while challenging them in new ways, too. For one, assignments are timed.
All right, pencils down.
Preparing students to meet real-world deadlines. An organization is required. So is taking Cornell-style notes. That's where students divide their notes in sections, jotting down questions and keywords on the left, answers on the right.
I really put a lot of the student learning on them. I really believe that my role in the leadership class is to facilitate learning, and I give them the tools that they need to do that. Very little do I necessarily create the questions.
Often, class turns into a debate.
But when it comes to cell phones, I guess they think when they have an emergency, it's more important than our emergency may be.
So students learn to think critically and defend their ideas. They also explore probing questions.
Think, why do we get privileges?
Something that you earn.
Okay, it's something we earn. I like that word.
And work together to solve problems. What's key to doing well in the class is speaking up a lot.
Okay, Lana Call, I got you down for 3. You came out of your shell at the end of that, which is good, right? Growth mindset.
Teal taught the class for a few years at Wilson Middle School.
7 times.
She has seen it work wonders
contribute-
before.
See, are we learning? I don't believe it, I know it. It's a fact. The program is known to not only get students into higher level classes, but graduate them with honors levels, graduate them and put them into colleges that some of them may not have thought possible.
Just a few months in, leadership is already making a difference.
5:30, is your mama coming? 5:30, I would like to talk about college.
Tracy McLean has seen her daughter, Nicole, change.
Since she has been in leadership, I've seen her take her own ownership of her grades. Before, it was always, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Whereas when I say, okay, do you have, Mommy, I did it. I have it.
Maybe that's because, according to Nicole, leadership and Mrs. Teal gave her the courage to believe in herself.
She tells us that we're leaders in the class and in other people's classes, so even if somebody else is doing wrong, we shouldn't get pulled in with them.
For Heaven Right,
Being in leadership, it helps us to learn how to have a passion for what we want to be.
yet perhaps we can best understand the power of leadership when we talk to Daniel Simmons.
I just came out of foster care, and I had to go through all this other stuff. And then, but when I got finally to 5th and all the AVID and leadership, I learned that I can go through that stuff and then still come to school and do what I have to do to go to the next level.
As for Principal Sparks, well, the leadership program has reaffirmed what he already knew.
I have a very, very firm belief that a lot of our students who are in leadership class, they'll be the first ones in their families to graduate from high school. They'll be some of the first ones in their families to go to college. And then they'll be some of the first ones in their families to actually graduate from college.
And with a little help,
All right, we're going to go through this article.
success
That's why the Salinas Union High School District in
doesn't
Salinas,
have to be hard to
California,
find,
implemented a no phone on campus policy.
after all.
Stephanie.